So, moving on. This bit was always a little bit away and I actually squashed it back in when I had it off. But I thought I'd try just to see if I could actually get this bit out of here. So I'll give it a little bit of a pull and a whack about, and I realised there's a pin holding it in here, because I was going to try, I filed this out a little bit squarer and I was going to try and just put a bit of metal in here and braze it in. But actually, if I can get this right out, it'll probably be easier just to cut a whole new thing here. So I'm going to see if I can bash this pin out and get this whole bit out. Only not another. There is, there's another pin in there. You just see another pin there now. These are alright, they're quite cheap old thing, they're a bit too long really, they just bend. I'm going to go and make something to bash this out. We are on punch number 3. Probably get this one stuck in there. Yeah, I thought I'd made that a bit tight. It's coming. Make that a little bit smaller. Who would have thought a pin would be so hard to get out? Use that, should be able to use this one now. It's pretty loose. Oh, fuck's sake. Well, that one's pretty buggered anyway. There you go. Comes off easy now. Right. Well, here's all I've got to do is get a bit of metal and cut this shape out of it. Should be a lot easier than trying to braze a bit onto here, and obviously it'll be stronger. And then I'll do the slot last. Well, there it is, roughed out. Just got to tidy it up and get it back in the thing. So that's the new one up against the old one. Well, to make it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now I just got to get it in the bit it carries it and drill the holes for the pins. I'm only going to drill enough to mark the thing. I'm not counting on this being dead square to go. I shall just mark it and drill it. clean them up, pin it in. And that's that. Well, here it is, mended, all ready to go back in. Could have probably used a better bit of metal, but function over form, eh? Hopefully it'll work. I think it was Mark Twain that said, I've spent a lot of my life worrying about things that never even happened. And that was a case in point with this, because when I thought I was just going to have to braze a little bit onto here, I thought that is going to be a right bastard to do. Because even map gas in a normal torch only just about gets hot enough to braze anything. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit scared of my oxyacetylene stuff. And it's stored away round the back of the shed out the way, so I'd have had to have got it around here to do it. But anyway, as it turned out, this all came out and it was quite easy. So, I'll get it back in. Well, we've been here before, haven't we? Now is the moment of truth, because this should that's better. Not that you could see that. And that is what it's supposed to do. Well, my next move is going to be to get it in the other half of the shed and thread it up and see what happens. Right, well here we have the 29k all threaded up. The bobbin's got some thread on it, that's in there. So there it is, all threaded up and raring to go, or so you'd think. And as you can tell by the bits of thread all over the place, and I'll show you some leather in a minute with holes in it, but I've been at this now for quite a few hours over the last couple of days. But to spare you the agony that I've had for the last couple of days, I'm just going to walk through what's going on and basically show you what's going on. So to start with, I'll run through what I think is supposed to happen. Now I'm absolutely sure I've got it all threaded correctly, according to other stuff I've found on the internet. The thread's coming down here, coming through the needle this way. So, put the foot down and start turning it. So this is what I understand should be happening. The needle comes down, the two bits of thread go through the hole, the shuttle comes around, catches a loop on the thread, pulls it over the shuttle, so that it's looped around the bobbin thread. Then it starts to come back up, and in the coming back up it pulls that loop tight on the bobbin thread, and off we go again. So my understanding is that the tension on the thread here has got to be greater than the tension when this is pulling that up, so that it can pull the loop. So it can pull the loop back through and tighten it on the thread that's on the bobbin. That is my understanding of it. So it's working, as you can see. It's looped it. Let me zoom in. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but it is looping, it's catching the bobbin thread. That's all working properly. So my understanding is now that as this comes back up, it should pull this up tight somewhere in the middle-ish of the stitch you're trying to make. So now I'll show you what's happening. Might find a decentish bit of leather that hasn't got too many holes in it already. So get the needle up out of the way. Drop the foot, and I'll tell you what, I'll move that over to the edge of it. Right, I'll just whip this through. Now I am going to pull slightly on the lever, and I know you shouldn't probably do that, but I'll explain that in a second. Right, now the cotton's broke. I will now try to demonstrate what is actually happening. I've got a bit of a missed stitch there. I'm not quite sure what that one's about, but the top stitches on the hull are fine, but on the back I'm getting these big loops, and the bobbin thread is this grey one. So from what I can understand, this is down to the top tension. So from what I can understand, these loops are down to the top tension, which is adjustable here. So I'll tighten that up a bit and we'll go again. Right, I'll tighten this up about half a turn. I'll try again. Not made a lot of difference. I'll tighten it up another half a turn and go again. Looks even worse. That could have been me at the beginning though. I'll give it another half a turn. Same. Give it another half a turn. Same. Getting a little bit better. We are closer. Tighter still. It's gone even loopier. And this is what seems to happen. You get one like that, which is very close, then it goes all to shit again. And it's got me a bit baffled. And just to show you, I know you're not going to be able to tell how hard I'm pulling it, but the bobbin thread isn't really tight or anything. It will just come. Okay, I'm back. Excuse me. I did watch an Harry Rogers. I don't know if you've ever watched him. He does quite a bit of leather work. I watched one of his videos the other day and he said he used he used bonded nylon thread. Can't remember the weight of it now, an M40 or something, I don't know. Anyway, I ordered some and it came today. Much thinner than the thread I've been using, and I've put it in the machine. Have a look. And now look. Pretty much perfect stitching. Let's see if I can stitch two bits of leather down a stitch line together. Look at that. Beautiful. Now some people might say I'm a numpty, but it works certainly with this thread. Happy days. Well, here it is. It's all done. With this thread in it, it works perfectly. I obviously need to do some more learning about the relationship between needles and threads, because clearly the thread and the needle I was using wasn't quite right. I was using this thread and it's some sort of linen thread. It's German. Don't know whether that's focused on that or not. But it's not that thick. And the needles I was using were 29.4 that these two together don't seem compatible. This thread and one of these needles works fine. So this is me messing about with the stitch lengths. We've got this one here with the little stitch guide that goes onto the foot, with it right up the top. I'm getting just about 9 stitches to an inch. I moved it down about a quarter, you get about 8. I moved it down about another quarter, I was getting about 6.5, 7, and then down towards the bottom, probably not quite at the bottom, I was getting 6. Plenty of range even there for me, and there is a little bit more range than that, I think, with a little bit more adjustment. Well, that's it, the machine's working perfectly. It's going to help me a lot, I think, in my leather work for next year, and I will retire properly next month. I'll become a proper old man on a pension. So I'm hoping my leather work will subsidise my pension so I don't starve. But I need my leather work really to pay for me golf, so I'm hoping to do a bit more and sell it next year, just to subsidise it a bit. Well, that's about it, I think. The machine's working. I suppose all in all it's cost me about 200 quid with the bits I bought for it. I did buy a new shuttle the other night when I was getting fed up with it and couldn't figure out what was the matter with it. So I spent another 30 quid on that and some other bits. But all in all, it's still a bit of a bargain, I think, because it's it appears to be a great machine, and I think when I've had a bit of more practice with it, it'll be even better. Well, that's me lot. Thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.